Hello, I'm Joshua Harris, and this is More in Lenoir. The indoor pool at the Lenoir Aquatic and Fitness Center is open for kayaking practice Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. through October 30th. For only $5 per person, you can bring your kayak, practice your rolls, and try out new gear. For more information, call the Lenoir Aquatic and Fitness Center at 757-2196.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
If you're excited about Christmas, you're in luck, because the Christmas parade application is already online. I know it's still September. I know Christmas is in December, but the Christmas parade application is already online. The theme this year is the Stars of Christmas. Visit cityoflenoir.com/Christmas parade to download the application. It's online already. The city is upgrading water meters. Next month, staff will start a project to upgrade all the meters in the city and improve the city's meter reading system. We're going to replace all the old meters with new, highly accurate smart meters. The project will provide upgrades to the city water system, improve operations, and provide better customer service. For more information on all these news items, visit cityoflenoir.com/news. So we're having an open house October 7th at Fire Station number 3. The fire department is doing this to kick off Fire and Prevention Week. So come toward the station, meet your firefighters, and get a chance to operate a fire hose, which I'm pretty excited about. The open house is going to be from 4 to 7 p.m. at Fire Station number 3, and that is at 1015 Wilkesboro Boulevard. The Smoking in the Foothills Barbecue Competition and Festival is October 18th and 19th in downtown Lenoir. The festival combines a fun, family-friendly event with the excitement of a sanctioned barbecue competition. Our two-day event offers live music, a woodcrafters showcase, a kids area, raffles, People's Choice pulled pork and barbecue wings judging, a poker run, a cornhole tournament, and a lot more. Visit smokinginthefoothills.com for more information. Ooh, now we're up to Halloween. We're going to have downtown trick-or-treating and the Mad Hatter's Pumpkin Patch Parade, October 31st in downtown Lenoir from 3 to 6 p.m. You can come trick-or-treating downtown, create a Halloween hat, and march in the Mad Hatter's Pumpkin Patch Parade. Plus we'll have face painters, a balloon artist, and a lot of other fun things to do. It's spooky fun for the entire family. And then later that night on Halloween, we're doing the trick-or-treating on Halloween, and later that night on Halloween, we're going to have a Halloween carnival at the Martin Luther King Jr. Center from 5:30 to 8 p.m. You can come get candy, play games, there'll be more face painting, another balloon lady, and a lot more fun. So I think that'll wrap it up for events today. All right, so, well, there's one more news item. This is the inaugural relaunch of the City of Lenoir television show, and we're calling it More in Lenoir.
Great.
And our first guests are Kaylynn Horn,
Hello.
Downtown Economic Development Director, and Kyle Case,
How's it going?
Main Street Program Coordinator.
That is correct.
And we're going to talk about what's happening in the city, in downtown, and a lot of good things like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah.
And there's certainly a lot of it.
So let's kick it off. Kaylynn, tell me a little bit about your department, about Main Street, and what y'all do.
Okay. Our department is economic development for the city of Lenoir, but our main focus is downtown development, and we actually administer the Main Street program. Are you familiar with Main Street programs?
I'm familiar with
You're
Main Street.
familiar with Main Street programs? That's great. It's actually a national program.
Mm-hmm.
It's across the country. There are over 1,000 communities that are Main Street certified communities. North Carolina, out of the North Carolina Main Street Center, which is in Raleigh, also houses about 65 Main Street communities across our state. And then we have our Main Street program in downtown Lenoir.
When did we start ours?
1984. for, I
I believe it was in
believe.
the 80s, yeah.
Yep, 1984. And we were the 12th one in place, and there were actually 65 right now across the state.
Awesome.
Which is fantastic for us.
So tell me about, you mentioned the North Carolina Main Street program. I know you guys follow a 4-point approach, right?
That's correct.
So give me a brief summary of that, and then we'll get into each one in detail
Get into
later.
the weeds in a little bit? Okay. The Main Street program was actually started by the National Trust. The National Trust for Historic Preservation, because basically what a Main Street program is economic development through preservation efforts. That's kind of the heart of what we do. So what they did 40 years ago or so is they put into place what's called the 4-point approach. And if you think of it like a stool, and it's exceptionally sturdy, this approach works. You can see downtown development that's taken off over these decades across the country because of this approach that's so solid. It has to do with organization, promotion, economic vitality, and design. So those are the 4 different,
That's what my notes
different
say.
legs.
That's the 4.
Yeah, that's the 4. And they really work.
I
They're great.
believe they work, yeah. Let's talk about economic vitality.
Okay.
Why is downtown important to economic vitality in the city?
Okay. Downtowns are important for every community. For ours is no exception. Because basically what you're looking at is the living room of your community. It's kind of the core, the heartbeat of your community, if you will. And that's why the National Trust was so invested in seeing some of our historic places, even within our communities, not just in Washington, D.C. or Pennsylvania, where you might think of a lot of our historic structures, but actually in our own communities, because of those histories that we want to convey, the buildings that are important to us, the memories that are important to us. So the whole effort is to put some of those historic structures that might have gotten a bit neglected in some of the decades when the suburbs were really popular and people kind of moved out of the downtown core. It's an effort to get people interested in those buildings again, an effort to get them back into use, back into service, a little TLC, and preserve some of those stories and some of our historic structures.
Coming to a nice downtown is quite a bit different than going to a shopping mall or going to a big box store.
Right. Yeah, it's the culture. You feel like you get to know a community better. I mean, you can go to a mall in Hickory, you can go to a mall in Charlotte. They're all the same. You come to downtown Lenoir, you know you're in Lenoir.
Our malls and our stores are important to our economy. They're important to our shopping efforts. They're important to making that whole wheel turn. But there's also something really lovely about coming to the living room of your community. If we were to flash up some pictures of some really wonderful buildings and historic structures in Morganton, for example, or up in Boone or West Jefferson, you could immediately recognize where you are, at least regionally or locally.
Sure.
And if we were to put up the Center Theater in downtown Lenoir, or the Lutz building, for example, in downtown Lenoir, the Shaw or the Lenoir building or the Ford Motor Company building, if we put those up, you would immediately and always know that you were in downtown Lenoir, in your hometown, in your community.
I agree. Speaking of historic preservation, is there a reason to preserve downtown buildings or historic buildings in general? Why not just build new, tear down all the old stuff? It costs way more to fix anyway.
Well,
why not build it new?
interestingly enough, in some of the national conferences that I've attended across the country, one of the things that is a kind of, not a side note, but really important to consider with historic preservation, how it affects the economy. You'd be surprised how much taking down a building actually, or sorry, the environment, it affects the environment. You'd be surprised how much taking down a building, you know, you've got to get all that to the landfill. It's also an economic engine to be able to restore those buildings and put them back into use.
We have a couple being restored now, right?
Yes,
in downtown.
got several being.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. We have the Lutz building, which is on the corner of Boundary and West, and we also have the Fidelity building, which is on the corner of Boundary and West on the opposite side, kind of next to the historic post office.
Yeah.
So you've got those buildings. We also have a building on Mulberry Street, which is next to the Shaw building on the corner of Mulberry and West. And then we also have a building on Church Street on the corner of Harper and Church. And those are all underway right now and will house apartments on our second floor as well as retail and activity spaces on our first floor. So we're super excited about some of the revitalization work that's currently taking place.
I'm excited about that too. I've spoken to individuals that are really interested in finding a place to live downtown. That's their number one place they want to live.
Yeah, we hear from people all the time.
Yeah, we do.
I actually talked to a guy recently who lives downtown now, and he said some of the folks he works for are on a waiting list. Basically, if he ever moves out, they want his apartment. So
We need to get into the
Yeah.
downtown apartment business, I
Right.
think. Downtown
It's not a
development.
bad business to get into right now. And we've seen in the last year, we had 10 properties change hands. And it was kind of almost like $1.6 million worth of property acquisition sales. And we've seen hundreds of thousands, almost, if I were to total the last couple of years, it comes to like 1.7 million in private investment that's been happening in our downtown. So we've seen a lot of acquisition, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of change. Programs like moving Lenoir to the second floor, which help to influence that economic vitality and influence that economic engine to move, have been very helpful for us, especially during an economic uptick. I mean, that's always helpful. You know, you got to strike while the iron's hot. But putting in some of those programs really help us to highlight our properties and help our property owners kind of understand what are some options for them to do with their buildings, and or make a decision, maybe it's time for me to find someone else who might want to move this property forward. So it's been very helpful for us.
Now, of course, I'm familiar with Main Street and the 4 Points and what you guys do, but talk a little bit about the impact of having downtown residents and the impact of your downtown adjacent residents on the prosperity of your downtown core, and then how that will
Take that.
work its way out.
Sure, yeah. So the Main Street Center has done studies, and they found that for every resident that you have living in a downtown district, you bring in roughly $9,000 per year back into that downtown.
Per person.
That's
In spending,
per
right.
person in spending. You know, they're going to eat downtown, they're going to shop downtown more, they're going to walk down to the convenience store as opposed to driving over to Walmart.
Not be able to resist the ice cream.
Exactly. So,
Seeing as how I work downtown, I know what that's like.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, every day. So you can do the math on that. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have 100 apartments in your downtown, 100 people living in your downtown, it's almost $100,000 a year that's coming right back into your downtown.
Do either of you have an idea of how many current downtown residents we do have?
I'd say probably about 25,
Yeah.
30, because it depends on what you're actually considering your downtown. There are different overlays, different districts to consider. So
I'm
the
thinking your
number,
downtown district.
downtown
Your
district,
actual-
I'd say that's probably a safe number, and we're hoping to really see that elevate. And another thing that we're working on, because we collaborate so closely with the planning department, Jenny Wheelock and her whole team, to look at, we're very fortunate in Lenoir to have neighborhoods that are immediately next door to our downtown. And for those neighborhoods to understand that they really are downtown residents, and to kind of walk it in on Wednesdays and go to dinner, or walk the dog or stroll the kids, and to come in and really enjoy some of the new amenities that we have in downtown, which is really great. We're seeing a lot of new business development. We're seeing a lot of new activities that happen that people can come in and get engaged, walkable community.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we work downtown, obviously. We work at City Hall. So, the ice cream shop's right across the street, which is great. And sometimes
Shaking
tempting.
dog. Right?
The Shaken Dog's over there, that's awesome. And then the salad bar, and then 1841, and then the Poorhouse.
And the Pie Smith. And
now Pie Smith.
Taste of Havana, Cuban restaurant.
Taste of
Piccolo's.
As
City
more and more
Cafe.
options
I mean, I'd
every day,
have
it
to
seems
get on the website, which you need to understand if you would like to know what's going on in downtown Lenoir. DowntownLenoirNC.com is the place that will list all of our new businesses, restaurants, eateries, Liquid Roots, for example,
Retail.
breweries. Our retail shops.
Yeah.
We've got some lovely clothing shops that have just opened up, places where you could go and buy furniture, in our antique markets and our antique shops.
Didn't you say something about Christmas is coming up?
Christmas is coming.
It's the perfect time to come downtown.
And our the way that we shop, the way that we look at retail in our generation has certainly changed.
Changing, yes.
It's right here on your phone. You have the availability to have something in 2 days. But sometimes when you're looking for that really unique, very original, one-of-a-kind item to give folks, and to have an experience of really knowing what it's like to get down and have a day of shopping. There's nothing better than to come shopping in downtown. My mother and I did that last She was coming down for lunch, and I'm like, Mom, let's go, poke around a little bit, and do a little shopping. We ended up 5 hours later, bags of things for Christmas. After we hit one store, we decided to hit another store. Remember that day? We wrote about it in our newsletter. And another one. It was just a lovely experience for us as mom and daughter going out shopping and experiencing all those different shops and having a great lunch. So
I'd mentioned,
I encourage the experience in the day.
I'd mentioned working downtown, and I had brought that up because I really like being able just to walk outside during lunch and go grab a bite to eat, or right after work, walk to a shop. I think walkability is important. I think it's more important to a lot of people. Now, don't get me wrong, I like my car. I like being able to drive. But if I don't have to, then, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, it was a lovely day.
Well, it's nice to have that extra time. I mean, if you walk over to, say, Shake and Dog for lunch, that's 10, 15 minutes you didn't have to spend in your car. It's extra time on your lunch break that you're not wasting driving somewhere.
We have a lot of businesses in and around our downtown core that come in and take advantage of being close and walk it in from Mulberry Street or from wherever they work, and that's been really great for us too.
And of course, we love all of Lenoir, not just downtown Lenoir.
That's correct.
We love all of Lenoir.
We do.
But I think we want to try to put a spotlight on downtown because it's not on 321, right? So lots of time, lots of traffic goes right and by 321 or goes Morganton Boulevard and Wilkesboro Boulevard. So,
The Main Street now, Main Street America, and I encourage folks, if you'd like to learn a bit more about Main Street program and how that works across the country and nationally, you'd be surprised to see what communities have actually been engaged with the Main Street program for 30, 40 years, and to see those changes and understand that it's that stool, that 4-point approach that has really helped move them forward. But Main Street America will actually list downtowns are the heart of our communities, that a community is only as strong as its core. So when you talk about the living room of your community, it really is the place where people drive into and kind of look around and say, what is this place all about? These people care about where they live. Are they active? Are they here? Are they engaged? And it's really exciting to see some of those changes continue. We've been at this for several years, and it's nice to see some of the revitalization that's going on.
It is. We have a lot of things happening. We have a lot of energy, a lot of momentum. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And I think an energetic downtown can really impact the way people feel about their own community. As for residents, you have to come downtown. You have to pay your water bill. You have to pay your taxes. You have to do those things. And if you come to a place that's vibrant, that you come in to pay your water bill and you see, oh wow, there's 3 new shops that opened up in the last month. That has an impact on people's attitudes and the way they feel about where they're from.
It's really easy with everything that we went through in this part of the country to get, what's the word?
A little down?
A little down, that's a good way to say it, to get a little down. But I mean, I think now's a good time to get a little up. I mean, we got a lot of good things happening, so
absolutely.
We need to spread that news.
And it's kind of nice. It's not just the businesses and the retail and the shopping and the eateries and breweries and things that people can engage in, but we've got a lot of activities that you can bring your kids to. We've got a lot of activities that families can come. You can come on a date. You can just really enjoy yourself in a lot of the events that we have, and that's part of the promotion.
Well, I was getting ready to say, let's get to a few more of these points. So we talked about economic vitality.
Right.
Now we have design, promotion, and organization left. Which one do you want to go to?
Promotion.
Promotion. All right, so let's talk about promotion. What is promotion in as far as it applies to the 4-point approach and Main Street and
Sure, yeah. Downtown? I mean, I think simply put, promotion to me, which is the job that I think I'm mostly tasked with, is just making sure people know about the good things that are going on downtown. There's details, there's more to how that happens, but I think that's the gist of it, is that, like you said, we do have a lot going on. Doesn't matter as much if people don't know what's going on. If there are events every other weekend that people don't know about, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So my job is to get that out there and let people know. We have, like you said, we've got trick-or-treating coming up. We've got Smoking in the Foothills, and that's just in October.
November's packed. September was packed.
Every now and then, someone will say to me, well, it doesn't seem like there's much going on here. And I think there's at least a couple of events a month in downtown.
I feel like we're busy all the time, every month.
So getting that word out, and that's a variety of ways. I mean, that's, we engage traditional media. We work with the radio stations and the newspaper. We have social media. If you're not following us, check out Downtown Lenoir on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We try to get the news out that way. We do a monthly newsletter. So really just getting the word out. Not only about events, but working with local business owners, trying to promote new businesses that have opened, trying to help folks get the word out that there's things going on and kind of the details of that.
So talk a little bit about the start in January and think back and give me a list of the annual events that we have happening in downtown.
Well, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do that.
Let's just see. We'll start counting. We'll see how many we get through.
Well, I'll say January and February are kind of the 2 months where we don't have a lot going on.
And it's cold,
It's
so we
cold,
get a break.
and we get a little bit of a break.
All right.
Well, we've got the iHeart Main Street.
We do have iHeart Main Street where we celebrate our Main Street volunteers in February. And of course, there's always Martin Luther King celebration in January. But then we skip on to April. April's when things really kick off. We have one of our biggest events is the North Carolina Gravity Games. Folks aren't familiar with that. That's an event that was initiated almost 10 years ago. This will be the 10th year coming up. By Google, who's a great community partner, and they sponsor a downhill derby car race where kids from across the state.
Soapbox Derby race.
Derby.
Soapbox Derby. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, Soapbox Derby. Kids from all across the state, they can build their own cars, bring them in. I think this past year they had 60 or maybe almost 70 teams. And that's, Boy Scout groups, schools, and they'll race, and we have a little festival and fair alongside it.
Science Street.
Science Street, which is
robots,
supported by Appalachian State
Snakes.
and Chapel Hill, Moorhead Planetarium. We'll bring all kind of cool stuff out. And then we also have the Bootlegger bicycle race. That is in April as well.
Pull this up. I'm going to cheat.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat.
Anybody that's a cyclist, that's a big, it's a 100-mile race. They start and end here in downtown Lenoir, but they go all up through the globe. They go up to the Parkway, circle around through Pisgah and back.
And are they running moonshine, or is that just...
That's just a name. Just a name. But it works well because they hit that...
Don't recommend it on the bike.
They hit that moonshine country. So those kind of kick us off in April. May it kind of dies down a little bit. We kind of let folks get out of school before we really get going strong again, and then we'll have our concert series that we do throughout the summer on the downtown stage. We usually start and end that with two sort of what we call them our big small events. They're not a full festival, but we have the beer garden. We have usually some food vendor, great concert, cornhole tournaments, that kind of thing. And we'll have one of those in June, one of those in August.
Do the downtown cruisins start
I was
in
going to
May?
say by the
Cruisins also start in April. They usually are the
April.
1st of April.
It's a lot to remember. It's okay.
It is.
Yeah, that's why I pulled it up online. That's why I go to downtownlenoirnc.com just so I can
Kaylyn's
keep up.
got it pulled up.
So you keep going and I'll check you.
Of course, everybody, if you've been from around here for long, you know about the Blackberry Festival. That's going on. What is it?
July.
Oh, I know, July.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years has it been?
Oh, how many years? Wow.
We're looking at
I should know that off the tip of
I
my
don't know
tongue.
that
I want
a
to
lot.
say it's like
decade or more.
no,
at
it's
least,
more
isn't
than that. There's
it? Is it 20?
It's around that, if not more.
Okay, I was thinking it was
It's
getting
been a
close.
while.
Yeah. So that's a big one. That's one of our bigger events.
Family fun series with the films.
Yeah, our Parks and Rec sponsors a film series throughout the summer.
John.
They'll play movies on the downtown sage. We've got a big projector, a big portable screen.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. I mentioned we have several. The Southern Sundown for Miler. We have several races, bike races, foot races.
Davenport Dash.
Davenport Dash, the Cycle to Serve, which is hosted by Lenoir Rotary. August is September. The fall is really busy.
Yeah.
August, September, we have Carolina Tattoo and Arts Gathering. That's always Labor Day weekend. That's one of the more unique events, and it's actually won an
we got an award for
Are you
that.
counting?
No.
You stopped counting, didn't you?
I didn't even start.
We did get an award for that,
We
too.
did.
Yeah,
That was a Main
that's
Street
nice.
Award last year. That's going on its 5th year, I believe. Tattoo artists from all around the world come in and set up shop here in downtown, and they always sell out. They've sold out every year so far. So you can book in advance.
Sell out as in the number of
artists
slots
themselves.
available to get a tattoo.
That's correct.
Correct,
Yes, you can come and watch and enjoy it. They have other vendors and beverages and that type of thing. You can come and
Cigars.
watch if you're
And vendors out back and
you're a tattoo enthusiast and you want to see some world-class folks at work. But yeah, they do always sell out. The artists themselves always sell out of slots.
Good for them.
So
And
that's
whoever's getting tattoos.
exactly
Right.
Yeah.
that takes us September, October to
September,
National Night
October,
Out.
National Night Out.
National Night Out, which will have already happened when this airs,
Yeah.
but that's a major event. That's
First Tuesday of October, and that's a nationwide event where police departments come out and have a sort of community night.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement. Here in Lenoir, the Lenoir PD partnered with the rest of the county. They all come here to downtown, so we'll have Hudson, Granite, Sheriff's Office.
And we really like that.
They all come
police
here.
car show,
Great event.
Car shows. They have some of the big equipment that you
a little
don't get to
festival
see.
kind of thing.
Hot
Free
dogs.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, free hot dogs. And then we'll have our Smoking in the Foothills in a couple of weeks.
Barbecue.
Barbecue
Barbecue.
Festival. That is a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned barbecue competition. So we have cook teams, again, from around the southeast that come to cook. And then on the streets, we have our festival. We got some great bands coming this year. We have the National Reserve headlining our Friday night. They're a nationally touring band out of Brooklyn, New York.
Looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
Yep,
that'll be
it's going to
good.
be awesome. And Jim Quick and Coastline, who's from down on the coast.
They're back again,
They're
right?
back again. Last year they played Friday night. This year they're going to be headlining our Saturday night.
They put on an awesome show.
Yeah, they.
I was highly impressed.
Very
Yeah, they do.
talented folks. So
They know what they're
recommend everybody
doing.
come out for that.
Yeah.
And then we've got our great local folks. We've got Andrew Massey and the Midnight Americans. We've got the Harris Brothers. We've got Chad Triplett, Ryan Anderson.
It's a great lineup
It's
this
a great
year.
lineup of music.
It's gonna be awesome music.
Great barbecue to eat.
Yep. And the
There's
other
the-
thing that's really great, is the wood fire smoke aspect of our festival. You want to talk to them about some of the fun things that are coming for
Go
that?
ahead.
Oh, well, no, you know it better.
Well, yeah. So, the
I
fun
ditched
things
him.
that are coming. So, our theme for last year and this year has been wood fire smoke.
Right.
So we want to highlight our craftsmanship in this area. Lenoir, Caldwell County was kind of built on furniture, and we have a strong background in craftsmanship. So,
I'm not sure if I would say kind of.
yes, it was.
But definitively.
It was significantly built on furniture.
So we want to highlight that, and we have a lot of great sponsors in the furniture industry that are supporting us and making this possible. But yeah, so in that spirit, we have more than a handful of wood crafting vendors, everything from cutting boards to wood sculptures. We have a lady from Asheville who's going to be joining us this year. She's going to be doing glass blowing demonstrations.
Nice.
So that's our fire. We also have a booth by the Western North Carolina Sculpture Center, which is new. They're actually going to be opening in November out at the Patterson School.
In Happy Valley.
They're coming to do a blacksmithing demonstration.
I'm excited about
I'm
that.
very
Yeah.
excited about. They're actually going to do an iron pour and show you how to blacksmith right there on the
What are they
main
going?
street.
What are they going to blacksmith? Is that the verb?
I don't know what they're making.
I am blacksmithing this. Is that what you're saying?
It could be.
So come out and find out
Okay.
what they're going to make.
I'm excited. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But
Very
yeah,
great event.
so a lot of fire.
All right.
A lot of wood, a lot of smoke.
wood.
Wood, crafters,
Right.
glass blowers, blacksmithers.
Right.
I believe
Smoke.
Smoking is
And
just
then, of course,
barbecue.
barbecue.
Smoking
yeah,
barbecue.
smoking up great barbecue.
All right, good deal. All right, so that gets us through October. I think, no, not all the way through, because then we have Halloween.
With Halloween.
Halloween events that we've talked about that you've given.
Downtown trick or treating.
And then Light Up
Halloween
Lenoir.
carnival.
Light Up Lenoir will be in November. That is where we do the light show on the stage. Some of the schools come out to sing
Decorate all the
carols,
Christmas
Christmas
trees.
trees.
decorate all the Christmas trees, and that's the Thursday before Thanksgiving week. Then the Saturday after that is the Downtown Lenoir Christmas Tree Festival. And that is presented by the Caldwell Rotary Club.
All right.
And that's always a great event, gets you in the spirit, the holiday season.
And our Christmas tree decoration is supported by local business, so if there's any business out there that would like to participate in that and help a classroom actually get the materials that they need to come out and decorate those trees, we would greatly welcome any kind of sponsors for those
We
children.
like our downtown Christmas trees.
Yeah,
We do. It's
like
a
it.
lot of
It's a
fun.
great event. That's also was an award-winning event several years ago.
I did not know that.
About 10
I
years
always like
ago.
to see it, because each tree is decorated by a different classroom and different schools. So, you get everything from the little elementary schoolers up through middle. I don't know if there are high schools that do it, but
I think some high schools do.
Yeah,
But
there
high
are some high school
schoolers,
groups,
all this
organization
variety
that
of,
do that. Yeah, like
decoration.
Yeah. So then we have the Christmas parade,
Christmas parade is the first Friday of December this year. It's the 6th.
December 6th.
And you want to talk about the theme of that a little bit?
the Starry Night Lenoir Christmas Parade. The theme this year, the Stars of Christmas.
I
So
like
it
it.
could be whoever your star is, whether it's the Wise Men or whether it's Rudolph or Jimmy Stewart. Make sure you spell it correctly.
Or a coworker.
Yes.
or your favorite coworker. It's however you want to decorate the Christmas tree or however you want to decorate your float to be the star of your Christmas. Maybe it's
looking
your
forward to it.
grandparents. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be
I like it. I like the nighttime. Oh, it's a nighttime parade,
That's right.
obviously. So
Yeah.
you get lots of, or you have the opportunity for a lot of lights on
Yes.
floats. So
Yeah, we
hopefully
want to
we'll
see
have-
as many lights as we can
And we
get.
had a lot of great ones last year, so I'm excited to see what people come up with this year. There was a lot of creativity on some of the floats.
Yeah.
There was one, I don't remember who did it, but whoever it was great. It was a wagon, like an old-timey stagecoach
Okay.
type thing with a bubbler on top that made it look like it was snowing all
Oh,
around.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's some
beautiful
cool,
floats that people
cool
spend
floats.
some good time on.
Now, is
Very
the
creative.
parade the last event, or is there anything else?
There is a film after that. It's an indoor film that we
Yep.
try to have that Parks and Rec puts on for us,
Okay.
and it's usually held at our historic high school, the Lenoir High School, in the auditorium. If it snows or something, we snow date it, but other than that, yeah.
So, right. So when people say there's just not a lot happening, I mean,
They need to go to downtownlenoirnc.com.
there is. There's a lot
Yeah,
happening.
visit the city website. There's a lot going on.
And this doesn't even count events from, other departments.
No.
Right.
You know,
This
Parks
is
and
Parks and
Recreation
Rec.
events, stuff at the Aquatic Center,
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of things.
MLK
So,
Center, all of it.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitively a lot going on.
All right, so now that we've established that there's a lot of happening.
And I think it's important that we've also talked about economic vitality, and it's
Yeah.
important to talk about promotion because I think a lot of times it may be seen that the Main Street program is / event planning, and it really isn't. It's a
That's
whole.
just one part.
It's just one. It's just one leg. And the other three, you've got to have them, and they're just as significant and just as important to implement programs and
It's
ideas
just one
around
point of the 4 points.
That's
And
correct.
we've talked about economic vitality, and then we talked about promotion, which
Right.
is the events, promoting what's happening,
Right.
promoting downtown businesses.
Right.
Now we have design and organization left. What do y'all want to talk about?
Let's do design.
Sure.
All right. What is design?
Design is basically the physical environment of your downtown. We talked about how your downtown should be the living room of your community, the reflection of how you feel when you go downtown. So design actually works with helping people look at the facade improvements. How can you make your facade look a little bit better? Maybe it needs some TLC, the outside of your building. What about benches for people to sit on? Do you have utilities? Unfortunately, in Lenoir years ago, there's always been a really great commitment to downtown development that they did put the utilities underground in our downtown core, which makes a tremendous difference with how you feel and how things
You
look.
don't even notice it, which is a great thing, but
That was
but it makes a big
significant,
difference.
significant
The
impact.
fact that you don't notice it is a big deal.
Is a big deal. So our utilities are buried. We have benches. We have a beautiful stage for performance that's been there for years. So there was an awful lot of things that were going on to help us plant seeds to keep moving, And that has to do with the physical nature of your downtown. How do you feel when you're there? How does it look? The light poles that were designed for the period of significance, the historic period of significance for downtown. So that's why the light poles look the way they do.
Downtown is our living room.
Yeah.
We want it to look nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody likes hanging out in a dirty living room.
That's right.
Or an ugly living room.
That's right.
Visitors are coming over. You put the
Visitors are
laundry in
coming.
the
That's
bedroom.
it. You put everything in. Yeah, but that's why landscaping is so important. How do you interact with that landscape when you're there? How do you interact and feel when you're walking down the streets? So there's always things to be done. There's always room for improvement, but we're always striving to kind of make sure that the way people feel when they're downtown is inviting. It's engaging. You see people walking around. You want to walk around.
Right.
So yeah.
Do you have any programs specifically targeted at helping people improve their buildings or
Sure.
adding things to the public space, anything like that?
The Moving Lenoir to the Second Floor program that we mentioned before helps property owners understand their buildings a little bit more as far as what interior and exterior uses can be done with their building. We have the Build program grant, which is
I like the way it sounds.
Build, yes,
Build.
it is.
Do you know what it stands for?
I was hoping you were going to ask me that. I created it. I think it's Building Improvement Upgrades for Lenoir Downtown.
That sounds good.
That was it.
Let's go with
okay,
that.
I had to pull that one back out. But yes, I invented that acronym. I should know what it means. So the Build grant is also to help with facade improvements and also does some interior work as well to kind of help our property owners move their buildings forward back into good use, productive use.
And lots of times you have to engage property owners, people that are leasing the properties, business owners, and try to get them together to agree to make some of these investments, right?
What I've called it is, whoa, our stars are kind of lining up.
Right.
And that's what I mean by striking while the iron is hot and kind of putting things in place now. We've got an uptick in the economy. We've got people interested and enthusiastic about downtown development. It takes a multitude of people, different organizations. It isn't just about one person and now fortunately two people in a department. I remember when I first got here, brought this to share with you. It was a great little caricature that our news topic had done, and it shows me kind of running downtown with my toolkit and my ladder, and I'm getting ready to run downtown and kind of fix things. And I use this as, I mean, it was funny, it was cute, and I greatly appreciate what the news topic...
And it was done in a good way.
In a good way, and I greatly appreciate what the news topic did because I've got it framed.
Sure.
It was just really cute. But I use it sometimes to illustrate that two things. We had already had utilities buried. We had already had a beautiful stage. We'd already had beautiful landscape. There had already been a lot of initiatives that were done.
People were already doing things.
People had been doing things for a long time, and we were moving forward in a really great way. And it also, the implication that one person can fix it. It is a multitude of people from, you start thinking about your city council, your city administration, your city staff. You start thinking about property owners. You start thinking about business owners, real estate agent, the bank,
residents who come
residents, the banking community, residents that live in the downtown, residents that live in the vicinity of the downtown, the community support of those businesses and those efforts in downtown. Nonprofit organizations, the Chamber of Commerce, for example, the Arts Council, for example, that are huge partners with a lot of our initiatives that, also in design has to do with Caldwell County has been listed as having one of the largest outdoor sculpture collections per capita in the nation. That's huge.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah,
and recently...
The community recently won an award
a couple months ago
from the American Planning Association, North Carolina chapter. They do Great Places Awards, where they award communities across the state for good community planning, good design.
Right.
And Lenoir was awarded one of those for our great public art. That was the category. It specifically highlighted the Thomas Sayre piece, the big
Across the Grain.
Across the Grain. It's a big circular saw. A lot of people call it the Stargate.
I like that name.
I don't, whatever it looks like to you is fine with me. That's the point of art. And it gets you downtown, gets you thinking. And we have a lot of great sculptures. We have the Tucker's Gallery downtown, which is sort of facilitated by the Arts Council in partnership with the city. And we've got the QA King piece.
Yes.
On Fire Station 1.
Yes, I was trying to think of the name of it.
Where the flames
Yes. Where flames may
rise, or where the flames may rage. We really should know
Probably
the name
cut
of that.
this one.
Sorry.
You're going to have to cut that.
Sorry, QA. We should know the name. But it's a beautiful piece, and it's on Fire Station 1.
If you're coming up Harbor Avenue, you can see it there sparkling in the sun. So we got a lot of great public art, and the APA noticed that.
But Kaylynn, you were saying, I mean, you were talking back to this cartoon, and you were basically saying that a lot of people have been working for a long time
Absolutely.
to make things happen.
Yeah, the collaboration, for example, with the nonprofit, the Caldwell Arts Council, very imperative to helping establish who we are as a community
Because
and what it looks like.
when we talk about design or when we talk about events, these things don't just spontaneously happen. I mean,
No.
benches don't just spontaneously come up out of the ground, and
Right.
people have to make things happen.
That's correct.
People working together.
City departments that collaborate very well with each other, organizations that collaborate very well with each other. Everybody has to kind of lean in and move forward.
Business owners being willing to take the risk to open a downtown business.
Absolutely, absolutely. Property owners having their buildings ready for those businesses to come in. It takes a collective bunch of folks that are interested, our corporate partners that are so committed to seeing us move forward, and being there with their support, whether that's providing volunteers for an event or actually, financially getting involved with some of our initiatives. Our corporate partners are imperative to what we're doing as much as, so you have to line up all of those entities and expose them to what we're doing, kind of educate the process. There's a lot involved with, historic preservation. Historic tax credits are kind of, you got to get your head around what those actually are that help make some of these projects financially possible.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said about letting folks know what we have, what tools we have.
What does our people situation look like right now? What do our stars look like? Do we have people and stars?
We've got a lot of them. Oh. And that's what I meant. Everything's kind of getting lined up, and it's about the people who are allowing that to happen. Because in order for us to meet our initiatives, we're very thrilled that we've recently been the recipients, our program has recently been the recipients of 4 North Carolina state awards out of the Department of Commerce. We had the Great Places from the American Planning Association Award. We received, Smoking the Foothills event received an award for their efforts from the North Carolina Festival and Events Association.
I remember, yep.
So, you should remember. You were instrumental in helping that happen. See, another collaboration. So we're thrilled about that recognition, but mostly thrilled about it because of the people who were behind it. It took hundreds of people behind each one of those recognition events and opportunities to make these things happen. And I think that's where we get most satisfaction, is understanding that we have over 125 people in our Main Street volunteer program in Lenoir, and it's called Be a Part of What Makes This Work program.
I like it.
And every person that's involved, every hour that's dedicated to volunteering to help us move forward is precious. We have one of the largest volunteer programs in the state right now, and that's just been really great. We could always use more.
So if you're interested, downtownlenoirnc.com, you can sign up to volunteer, and we'll put you on the email list. It's no pressure. We just email when we have an event coming up or something that we need help with, and if you're free.
And it's not all about hauling chairs and tables.
No.
I mean, there are a lot of
There's
different
a lot of
talents
different
that are
things that
put
need
to
to be
work
done.
in different areas so that people enjoy themselves, they enjoy the people that they're working with. So it isn't work, it really is a time to engage with your community and your friends and have a good time.
One more point. We talked about economic vitality, we talked about design, we talked about promotion. We may have talked about organization, but let's elaborate on what that is. Does that involve people?
It does.
It involves a lot of the people,
That's
right?
kind of the core. Organization is pretty much looking at the health of your program also. Where are you in meeting the objectives that are put forth by the North Carolina Main Street Department? In Raleigh, in the Main Street Center, and meeting that criteria. So I'm happy to say for the last 5 years we're an accredited program, both at the state level as well as at the national level, because we've put some of these programs into place, and we've put them into place with really quality effort and quality work. So that's been really great for us. So it has to do with the health of your program as well as the people involved in your program. And to have a healthy program, it needs to be a breadth of representation from across the community. And we feel like that's where that's heading.
Excellent. Do you guys want to add anything about what's happening in the future or what's coming up?
I'm checking over my list to see if we've talked about all these little points. I think we did.
It's a lot of paper.
It's a lot of paper, yeah. I think we had talked a little bit about some of the initiatives that'll be, and I'm sure you'll be talking about this future, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
Over Mountain Victory National Trail is going to be a wonderful asset for our downtown. It's going to go straight through the heart of our downtown. And so we're constantly kind of talking about how to prepare our downtown for a destination points off of that national trail. So that's something that we're even, we kind of see it as coming in the future, but for
Right.
us, it's like we've got to be planning that now. We've got to be working on that now. What could we do?
Connectivity.
Connectivity.
Connecting people
Exactly.
to places
Right.
Exactly.
in their community.
Yep, like looking at museum space and
Right.
working with our Caldwell History Museum to kind of help us out with their knowledge and expertise in that area. So again, another collaborative piece and partnership to help us move forward with that, which is
Alright.
coming in the future.
Yeah.
DowntownLenoirNC.com, our branding. We have wonderful, Christmas is coming up, so if you'd
Ooh.
like to have some.
Can we get those for Christmas presents?
You certainly can. We've got polo shirts, we've got Oxford shirts. It says Downtown Lenoir, Together We Create,
T-shirts,
which
hats.
Where do you go to get a shirt like that?
Just come to City Hall.
Come to City Hall.
come to
Okay.
City Hall. We've got hats, we've got aprons, we've got all kinds of things.
Maybe
that
we should do a merch commercial
we should probably do.
to go
commercial.
in this awesome show.
Yeah, we should.
It'd be very meta.
I mean, great stocking
It would, it
stuffers.
would.
Great stocking
Yeah.
stuffers. People are always asking, I want something that actually says Lenoir on it. So where can I get this? So that would be good for folks to know about.
And again, follow us on social media. Stay up to date with what's going on. We're on everything: Facebook, Twitter.
We have an
Instagram.
electronic newsletter,
Right.
which kind of
Newsletter.
emphasizes a lot of things that are happening. It also gives information about street
And
closures,
you can
which are
sign up for that
important
on the website as well.
for events.
Really, the place to start is
the website.
downtownlenoirnc.com.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Right? And from there, you can get to all the social media.
Right.
You can also go to cityoflenoir.com.
Right.
I'll have information up about all kinds of events happening in Lenoir.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll do it
Yeah.
for the first episode of More in
Great.
Lenoir. Kaylynn, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very
Thank you.
much.
It's a great
Kyle,
idea.
appreciate
Glad
it.
to be doing it.
All right.
Everyone, thank you for watching the first episode.
I liked it.
Well, I know, but I was going to say something else and then I stuttered. Everyone, thank you for watching the first episode of More in Lenoir. We hope to do more of these in the future, so keep an eye out. If you want to watch past episodes, go to cityoflenoir.com/moreinlenoir.